maybe to process too, and I'm sure we'll have our story about it here. I just want to ask folks for a moment, since it's early, if you'll just find someone you don't know, and for a moment, just share. You asked the question, Dana, what does a clean board look like and feel like? Because I'd like to hear some of those responses, and then we're going to go to you first for some feedback. So if folks would get up, stretch, meet someone new. This is a community event. It's important for us to connect with one another when we can. What does a clean board look like and feel like? And you have about 2 minutes.
Hi. Hey, my name's Kevin Clark. So what exactly do you do day to day?
Oof, that's a great question.
A little context. I'm an apprenticeship program, Department of Labor and Department of Apprenticeship Standards. So I'm really interested in workforce, but at the earliest possible age. So I'm very interested in what you think of.
We definitely got to connect beyond this thing. So I've been doing work with workforce development for a number of years, right? Through an array of different programs and services, creating entrepreneurship programs, business programs, working directly with schools, and do a lot of work in high risk areas like South LA, East LA, guys are coming out of prison, like how to get them back into jobs, right? So that portion. But then also from an early education component, how do we get these ideas into their minds at a middle school level, right? My son's in middle school, right? He thinks about work differently, right? Apple tree, right? Conversations that we had. So now for work, what I do is figure out what's needed in the community, figure out where the gaps are at, existing gaps. A lot of it's information sharing. A lot of our community members don't know what services currently exist in their communities. So how do we link that? And then by doing so, really vetting out who's, just because they got funding doesn't mean that they do the work. If that makes sense.
Right.
So you got to figure out who's really doing the work and who's who in that space. In doing so, you can figure out the gaps.
Right. So what spa do you focus on the most with this grant? I mean, is it Willowbrook? Is it San Pedro?
It's actually, I just reached out to a friend of mine that works with the school district, right, to see what schools are within this space that they can connect me to. So I'm literally at that stage. Right?
Okay.
So I wish I could give you more content. So looking at those, so it's not just the primary schools, right, but it's the community schools, right? Because there's a lot of the smaller schools. They're just trying to, and who's willing to talk to me too, right? Because that's the other conversation, right? It's easy for me to get in and do a presentation for parents, right? Because I could just go talk to the parent coordinator and say, hey, this is what we're doing. I'd love to hear, the opinions of parents on workforce development and engage with this curriculum. So that's an easy conversation.
Right. Could you imagine this exchange being streamed into a classroom during a day part where the teacher and the students will be prepared for being able to be part of the, not only the awareness, but even the potential planning of what activities they'd like to see?
I think it needs to be, right? It needs to be at that level with technology being what it is today. That's just a natural next step. And if we're not doing that, we're going to get behind really quickly.
Recommend that, because I would like to be able to provide that service.
I would love to continue this conversation with you, right? Because I think there's always a need to think outside the box, right? Because that's what's going to create change.
There you go.
Right?
All right. Thank you, bro.
All right.